Hi, I'm Erica Keller, and this is my introduction video for AEP 858. A little bit about me is I'm married to my husband Wade. We've been together for 9 years almost. We have a almost 3-year-old son. He'll be 3 next month, named Flynn. We also have a dog named Zane. If you hear the fish tank in the background, we have Larry, Moe, and Curly, which are my son's fish, and I have Stella, the leopard-spotted gecko, which resides at my school classroom. We also, my husband and I own a business called A Few Originals, and we do custom vinyl decals and t-shirts. At school, I have done all my teaching in Lawrence as far as actual being hired. And I went to Baker University for a mass comm degree, realized I wanted to be a teacher, so I've gone to Washburn, have my elementary education certification through there. And I did my student teaching in Lawrence, and now I'm actually working at the school that I student taught at. This is my first year there. I had taught at another school. Then I went to the district office and worked as a curriculum facilitator, helping with science and social skills, curriculum K through 5. And that program got dismissed. So I went back in the classroom, and I'm working towards my master's in library sciences. So as far as data and collection and my critical reflection for our district, we do map testing 3 times a year, Ames Web Plus 3 times a year, Fontes and Pinnell leveled readers, reading, which is more a teacher guided thing, state testing, 3rd grade and above, so I don't have to worry about that right now because I'm 1st grade. We have a standards-based report card. We also use classroom observations, and especially when we're talking about the SIT process or SSPs, student support plans. And then we can also use pre and post tests. Some of those are within our the programs like Math Expressions and Reading Street, and others we have to create on our own. My biggest critique this year is that for ISA services right now, we are only using map testing, so 1 data point, and so it also only switches twice a year, so there is not as much change. The other thing is that we're using the RIT, and we're not using the individual pieces of map to place children. So right now, for instance, I have a kid who is reading below level, and I think that they need services, but because they tested on a multiple choice test at grade level, they don't get the services that they need. But somebody who is reading at a higher reading level is, and it might be that they lack in vocabulary, but because their overall score, they got in, whereas the child who's missing those foundational pieces, which is what they'd work on during ISA services, isn't getting help. So it's tough at times. My personal critique of myself, how I use data, I print a lot of stuff. Whether I'm able to get to everything is a whole nother story. I kind of get overwhelmed by it all. I like to use the MAP personal profile because I can take each student and see exactly what pieces they're missing. I can group people together, and I try to do little 5-minute groups. We have WTI in our school, so I get an ISA person who comes to me for about 30 minutes, 4 times a week, and I can send out kids with her. I can pull kids during reading times, or writing time really, while they're doing independent work. I also do small groups for reading, so I put them in based on their reading level. But my class this year is literally 1/2 is a trimester above where they need to be, and 1/2 is a trimester below. So I've even differentiated whole group, and I now record myself for those kids that are higher, and they do it independently, and I have a packet that they work on. They go on Seesaw, and then I pull the other small group, the 12 kids that are struggling, that are behind, and we work on some of those pieces because with our program there's just so much, and so I'm able to really hone in and give them time, and that has been working excellent for me. So my proposal about how I want to use this class and the information is finding commonalities. How do I look at a piece and how can I group students together? Or is there maybe an overarching, like, something that all the kids are missing? How do I get more bang for my buck? Like, how can I use the data and instead of meeting with each child for 5 minutes, how can I group it? Maybe just meet with a couple kids and what is going to be the best intervention to help with those gaps? What does the data really mean? Like, is there something maybe, it says that they're missing their final consonant or their final sound, but why? So how can I understand? The other thing I'm really looking for is to learn from others, to see what they're doing in their classroom, create a community, work with others. I have found, especially this year, it's hard to be a teacher when you're doing it all by yourself, and having others to help you is only going to make you better as a teacher, but also is going to be the best for your students as well. So that's what I'd like to learn over this course. So I can't wait to meet everyone, and thank you very much.